Rude. Speaking of gorgeous, have you guys met Gavin? Gavin, wave your hand back there. This is Gavin. Yep. You know that Gavin is a retired Catholic priest? That's right, yeah. How many years were you in the ham?
Well, in ministry about 30 years.
30 years? 30 years of a ministry. And when did you retire?
20 years.
20 years ago? Wow. It's such a cool thing. If you haven't had the opportunity to connect with Gavin and talk with him and hear some stories and hear his journey, then I really encourage you to do it. I always say that the elders in our community are such a one of the most vital elements in our community, in a strong community, because they are now elders. Now listen, there's a difference between, I've learned this working with elders, there's a difference between elders and olders. Just because you're older doesn't mean you got wisdom. Yeah. But if you're an elder, if you're standing in that position in a community, and you're interested in the trajectory of the community, and you're interested in supporting the adults in the community, those are the people we get to go to, tap into, and harvest the wisdom that they've cultivated through their experiences. These are the people that paid attention. And Gavin is definitely an elder. And I think anyone who identifies as an elder in this room is definitely an elder. Where's Blaine? Blaine here. Wave your hand, Blaine. Blaine is an insane artist. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew he taught like art, but I didn't see any of his work until yesterday. He and Peter came over, and they were we had a meeting about a big fundraising event that we're going to be doing that you guys are going to be hearing a lot about. And he showed me some of his work, and your work is phenomenal. It was like really mind-blowing. I got kind of intimidated. I was like, I mean, you know, because there's certain people, like I was talking with Heidi. We were out by the door when Eve was playing and Mara was playing, and I was like, musicians, I don't know how they do it. It's just like, it blows my mind. And same with like artists, like it's just like such magnificent work and gallery stuff, and I was just like, oh my God, what a gift. And I thought, what a rich community full of so many gifts and talents and stories and paths, and we all get to come together. And this is why I think community is so valuable, and why we say relationships are our most valuable form of currency, because you're never poor when you're in community, when you're around community. You know, like there's always, but because let's face it, I mean, if you look at some of your social circles, many of us have grown accustomed to the sarcasm or the cutting down of our friends, people telling you all the reasons why you can't be who you want to be or why you can't do what you want to do. How boring is that? You know what I mean? I'm way more interested in the community that's lifting me up, saying, yes, you can. I'm going to hold the space for you. Anything is possible because you, yeah, right? Because you're working and you're consulting with a higher source. And when you consult with a higher source, there ain't nothing that you can't do. Everything's on the table for you. And so when Eve reminded me, Mar was also up here. Mar, who has been of so much service to this community for years. Yes. It was such a good reminder that like we are a rich community, and it is so important that when you get in your story of how hard it's going to be, getting in the struggle, getting in the fear, maybe you go and you promise yourself you weren't going to go to CNN.com, but you did, and then all of a sudden everything's going to shit, and the world's ending, you know, and it's so valuable to remember that gratitude for what you have. Like what Tom said, did you wake up in a bed today? How wonderful, what a gift. Do you know how many billions of people on this planet don't have that gift, that luxury? And not to ever compare ourselves, because we're assuming that they're not happy. They're probably just fine. But what a gift to acknowledge. Like, I woke up in a bed today. Thank you, God. You know what? It didn't rain on my face today while I was sleeping. That's great. What a joy. What a gift. I remember once Reverend Jennifer told me, I was going through like some money, whatever. I used to always go through money, whatevers. So God, I have so much more time on my hand now that I don't go through that. And I'm not saying like I have millions of dollars in the bank. I just don't worry about money anymore. Isn't that lovely? You know how much more time I have because I don't worry about money. I used to dedicate hours and hours each day to that, like a religious practice. Is it time to stress about money now? Okay, good. So she told me, she goes, you know, something that you can do is always keep $1 in your pocket, no matter what. And if ever you're having a moment of like, I don't have enough money, I don't know what to do, you reach your hand in your pocket, you feel that dollar, and you say, wait, this is money. I have money. This is proof that I have money, right? Because we talked about this last week, how money for a lot of people is a symbol of lack, not a symbol of prosperity. It's a symbol of lack because we're always looking at how much money we don't have, right? And instead of being like, look, this is God manifesting itself as form, as abundance in my life. What a gift, what a joy, right? And so it's interesting in Los Angeles too, how many people are lonely. We've talked about this so many times, you know, and I said once that loneliness is an epidemic in Los Angeles. In many of these metropolitan areas, everyone feels isolated and alone. And so the same thing applies to this scenario, you know, especially if you're a member here in this community. If you feel like you're alone or isolated, no one gets you, then you have to be willing to have enough discipline, or just be willing to have enough discipline to be like, to go through your contacts and be like, nope, I got an Amina. I know I could call her, she'd take my call, at least she'd call me back soon. I got a John, I got a Tom, I got a Mar, I got a Patsy. And the wonderful thing when you're working in a spiritual community is that people are like, what do you need? How can I support you? Right? Because they're practicing the truth, that God is my source, and there's no limit to God. So I'm working from the overflow here, and I can, I'm more than happy to give what I can, you know? And some of us are like practices that we have training wheels on, so we have codependent the relationships with that, and we're like, oh, I think since it's spiritual, I should be spiritual, and I should let them crash on my couch for a month. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can do what you can in that moment. So everyone's off that. Anyhow, so yeah. So abundance is all around. And I'm so grateful that Tom mentioned that abundance is not just about money. We talked about that last week. Money is one way that abundance manifests in your life. But you gotta look around. Look in your fridge. Do what you can do today to support yourself in feeling abundant. If what you can do today is go to Pavilions and buy 1 box of raspberries, do that. And look at those raspberries and say, there are so many raspberries in this box. And I made this up and I created this. Through God, God through me, supported me in manifesting this abundance in form, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful. And if you're looking at me like, Reverend Jesse, I can't even get raspberries, then go get a pack of gum. Look at that gum and say, oh my God, there are like 20 pieces in here. Thank you, Michael, for blowing a bubble at that time. Thank you. What a magnificent display of abundance active in my life. Right here in my hand, there is abundance in the world. Now, I'm not telling you to fool yourself. I'm not telling you to go out and do something ridiculous so you feel stupid. I'm telling you that what you pay attention to is going to grow. What you place your attention on is going to magnify and expand. So why wouldn't you look for all of the ways abundance is active in your life? Because if you're looking for ways that abundance is active in your life, where is your attention? On abundance. And if what we pay attention to magnifies and grows, if we're paying attention to abundance, then abundance is going to magnify and grow. But if we are sternly focused on what we don't have, on lack, what are we going to experience more of? Lack and limitation around every corner. Have you ever had the experience of someone walking into a room and you know this person and you're like, ugh, her. Ever had that experience? But then like 3 days go by and they walk into the room and you're like, her, that's great, right? And I've had that experience where I'm like, oh, I don't have time for her right now. And then, a week later, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to see her. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding, Bethany. My sister's here. I'm just joking. I'm always happy to see her. She knows that. In fact, she makes me prove that by just stopping by. We always laugh that she's the Jackie to my Roseanne. It's true. It's very true. But anyways, so that person hasn't changed. It's your perception that has changed. And so if you're really interested in living an abundant life, if you're really interested in embodying the abundance mindset, prosperity mindset, you're not interested, Michael?
No.
You're running away from... Don't run away from your abundance anymore, Michael. It's not about the situations and circumstances in your life. It's an inner job. See, we think that in order for me to feel secure, I have to have X amount of dollars in my savings account. In order for me to feel secure, my apartment needs to look a certain way. There needs to be a certain amount of room, a certain amount of square feet, and then I know I'm okay. I need to be able to drive a certain kind of car in order to prove that I am abundant. But none of that is true. And so we start thinking, okay, you know what, I got to get a new job. That's what I got to do. It's this job that's keeping me down. And I'm not appreciated by my employer, I'm not da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We list all the reasons why we need to get a new job, right? But the job is not your source. And this is the shift that we really have to make. This is the adjustment, the slight adjustment that is so valuable, but yields the greatest results, is we have to get out of the belief that our employer or our paycheck is the source of our good. We live in a loving universe and love is all that there is. So God, we say, is omnipotent, omnipresent, right? Omniscience, that's a hard word to pronounce sometimes. Omniscient, which means all-knowing. And so God flows through all things. And so it's not your employer that's your source. It is God through my employer is my source. And God can do anything because God knows the way. And so we start to learn how to lean into God to support us in expressing more abundance, right? And so if you think that your job is the only way that you're going to make money, well, then that's what's going to be your experience, right? The universe loves to say yes. The universe is just always saying yes to you. And if you think that this is the only way that I'm going to be able to make money, what's the universe going to say?
Yeah.
Yes. What is it going to say?
Yes.
It's going to say yes. But if you switch that and say, I live in a loving universe. I know that there are so many interesting and amazing ways that are unknown to me right now, that abundance can come to me and through me, that can express in my life, and I am not interested in limiting God. What is the universe going to say to you?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. I love PayPal. Because I get notices from PayPal or Venmo on occasion that just pop up. Right? These are little lovely surprises. If you're listening, you're like, oh yeah, this sounds great. You can go to jessebrune.com and click donate. And then you can help me feeling so surprised and happy on occasion. No, but on occasion I get these little notices. My phone makes a little jingle. And I look, and there's money in my PayPal account that I wasn't expecting. Like someone just gave me money. Sometimes I don't even know the person. Some random person stumbled across my website, saw something they liked, and decided to make a donation. Now, if I decided, no, only way I can make money is through Inspired, through a paycheck that I get for being a minister at Inspired, and that's it. Well, let me tell you something. Life would be a lot less interesting, and I would probably have a lot more stress in my life. But here's what I know. And this is what I know, and I know it like I know it like I know it, that my needs are always taken care of because I live in a loving universe that is forward-moving, that is life-giving. I'm always taken care of. If there's nothing that I desire that cannot be. And I don't need to know how it's going to unfold. I just trust that it will, right? We get all strung up in the how's it going to happen, how's it going to happen, how's it going to happen. Well, chances are you don't know how it's going to happen. Why? Because you are not the allness of God. You are part of it, but you're not the allness. And most of us are still working through this belief that who we are is limited to this thing right here, right? So as we begin to peel away the layers of a misperception that we are a limited physical form, and that's all that we got, as we learn more and more that we are part of the infinite flow, we begin to understand that I don't need to know how it's going to happen. I just trust that it will. In fact, I trust knowing that God is omniscient, that there is an inspired idea planted in my mind. And who am I not to honor this inspired idea? Who am I not to pursue this inspired idea, a gift from God? So I'm just going to take the next step in the direction of this. I'm willing to allow this wonderful idea to blossom and grow in my life. You know, it's an inspired idea. In spirit. That is what you are. And sometimes you get an idea and it doesn't even make any sense to you. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful when the universe challenges you to expand the perception that you hold on yourself? And you're like, why would I start taking hip-hop dance classes? I mean, nothing about that makes sense, but it's just in my mind. And you know what? I guess I'm just going to go and pursue it and see what happens. You know? Now, I don't think that I'm supposed to be America's next hip-hop darling. But who am I? Who am I to tell God what to do, what's best? Now, okay, so let's say I go and I explore the possibility of taking a hip-hop dance class at a local dance studio. And whilst I'm there, I meet a lovely receptionist who tells me all about everything. And I'm there, and I'm just loving her up, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, but you're great. I just want to say thank you for being so helpful and telling me all about all these hip-hop dance options. And I am never going to take a hip-hop dance class. I got that very clearly now that I'm not going to take any hip-hop because I'm going to be mindful of the disc in my back. And I just don't think that right now is the time for me to do that. But you know what? It was so good to meet you. And wow, like you're where it's at. Thank you, darling. And I leave. And that girl goes, you know, maybe I don't have to move back to Minnesota. Maybe I don't have to go back and work in that bakery that my family owns. Maybe I am going to stay in LA. Maybe everyone's not awful in LA. This guy was so nice to me that maybe it's proof that there's nice people in LA. And then this little thing becomes the next hip-hop star and changes the world through her dance moves. And it never would have happened if she moved back to Minnesota, right? So we don't know. No, we got to trust that we're all working together. We're all one mind. And God knows exactly the direction that you need to go so you can do and be what you are meant to do and be, which is a perfect giver and receiver of love. Now, when you understand that, then you are now embodying abundance. And this is the groove that we have to get into, is understanding that abundance and prosperity does not mean millions of dollars. It can. But true abundance, true prosperity is perfect well-being in every area of your life. And so it just means being in the flow. Being in the flow, right? Now, we have to be mature enough to begin to question some of the cultural beliefs that we have that have been implemented in our mind through big businesses, right? One of the video clips that I love so much, and it came out a couple months ago. Has anyone seen Elizabeth Warren grilling the CEO of Wells Fargo? Yeah. Anyone see that? I mean, if you want like masterful theater, like check that out. But this woman held the CEO of Wells Fargo so accountable for his actions. It was wild. And she asked, like there was a big scandal. I'll give you the 1-minute version. So Wells Fargo got busted for having like this big scandal of trying to get their clients to open up as many accounts as possible. And I think the average account for the average Wells Fargo customer was like 6 to 7 different accounts that they had at Wells Fargo. And so people were going into mass debt, they were getting all this stuff, but Wells Fargo was making more money. And so this was revealed. And, the CEO was like, I'm looking into, and then they fired all these lower level people, but it was coming from the top. So Elizabeth Warren was like, I'm going to go to the source. And she grilled this dude, and she was like, so how much of your own salary have you given back to support da-da-da-da-da-da-da? And he's like, well, what? She goes, well, not just your bonuses. How much of your bonus money did you give back, to support these people that have lost, he's like, well, no. And she goes, so I'm saying none, right? So, but you still took like a mass, like multi-million dollar bonus at the end of the year. And so she really called out the BS, right? I share this story because you have to begin to understand that the feelings of limitness, the feelings of I need more, I need to prove that I'm somebody through my stuff, all of those ideas and beliefs come from people that benefit off you having those ideas and beliefs. And so this is how we, like many people will say, this is how you break free from the herd. You're no longer a sheep. You begin to think for yourself. So if you have this belief, like, why do I feel like I have to have this crazy car? Like, what is it? Like, why do I feel like I need to spend $100,000 on a car? Who's benefiting from that belief in me? I never wanted that before, and suddenly I feel like in order for me to find the love of my life, I have to have this car. Why do I think that? And then you look back and you look at all of the marketing that we see before we can watch our fails video on YouTube, or whatever it is, it's like message after message after message. And so this is why your spiritual practice is so freaking valuable, is we learn how to discipline our mind, so we can say, that's not true, that's not true, and that's not true. I don't have to have that car, I don't have to have that, I don't have to be a homeowner. Who says that I have to, whatever it is, who says I have to do adult gay volleyball or dodgeball to have a social circle now? Like, who says this? It's all of these ideas that we think are true because we forget to question them. And so when we begin to doubt our thoughts, we begin to get control over them. And what a beautiful thing to remember when we're contemplating true abundance. Because true abundance is the recognition that there is absolutely nothing that you need that could enhance your inherent value. And it's an understanding that I am a child of God. And because of that, there is absolutely nothing that I need to be loved and to love. I am perfect now. And living in that and embracing that and aligning with that, when you pay attention to that, what do you think you're going to experience out here? The recognition that people say, there's nothing you need, baby. You are lovable. Your world will reflect that belief back to you. But if you are still caught in the cycle of my job, my career, that's what my purpose is, and my job and career, if it doesn't look the way I think it's going to look, and that means something about my value and who I am, well, honey, you're going to have years and years more of pain and misery and feelings of limitation and not good enough. So it's time we break free of those chains and say, I'm grateful for my job. It gives me abundance and flow, so I can go and do what I enjoy doing. LA, this is a really important message, and I'll end on this. We are the land of actors and musicians and artists, and there is a distinction to be made of art and being an artist. Like, do you love to create? Is that what flows out of you? Do you have a passion to share your gifts and talents in a really wonderful way? And do you feel like you can only do that if you're getting paid to do it? Right? How free. And I used to work with so many actors and in spiritual counseling and coaching, and we'd always have such a wonderful relationship until we got to that point where I said, okay, so imagine yourself in your dream career. What are all those feelings that come up? And they'd be like, I feel free, I feel abundant, I feel worthy, I feel successful. I'm like, that is amazing. Now you understand that That's what's being called forth to be experienced now. Feelings of worthiness, feelings of success, feelings of abundance. That's what's being called forth to experience, and you're just projecting that onto your career. And you think that if I don't get that career, then I can never have those feelings. Well, that's the creative process backwards. We're reversing that. Now we become willing to feel abundant, to feel successful, to feel worthy, to feel lovable now, and allow everything that we create to flow from that knowing. Pay attention to the truth, and the truth is what you will experience. If you're interested in living an easier, fulfilling, abundant life where every area of your life is in the flow, you got to know the truth, and you got to keep your attention back to that. Keep going to the truth. And this is why we meditate. And this is why we pray. And this is why we come to spiritual community. So we can remind each other, this is the truth. Allow it to grow from love, and there's nothing you can't do. Because you're cooking with gas, right? You're cooking with gas. I said, okay, Michael, I'm just going to do one more story, okay? One little quick little story. Just the presence of Michael makes me feel like, wrap it up. So I believe this was Maya Angelou's story. And so Maya Angelou's son, correct? Maya Angelou has a son, yes? Yeah, he was in a car accident. And I believe he crushed his legs, like the bones were crushed. And she flew out to the hospital where he was, and she talked with the doctor, and the doctor said, his legs are crushed, he will probably never be able to walk again. And she paused and she said, no. I asked what happened, but I'm consulting a higher authority, so I don't need you to tell me what his future is going to look like, okay? And what do you think happened to that boy? He walked, yeah. With Maya Angelou's your mom, that helps, yeah, but I mean, let me be your Maya Angelou. I am already to so many of you. I know. Let me talk a little bit more than my this. Why don't you start consulting a higher authority? You think of all of the things. I mean, and I love this with actors too. They think, well, I have to do this and this and this. I have to pay my dues, and I have to do this and this and this, and then I can finally do this. Says who? Says who? That is lack mentality. You are consulting a higher authority. You can consult your higher authority. Say, you know what I'm interested in. You know what my heart's true desire is, and I'm also interested in allowing this to come with ease and grace and soon. And I'm open. That's what I'm staying focused on. I don't care. I don't need anyone else's opinion. Thank you for sharing. I'm not interested. I'm consulting a higher authority. And when you got God on your side, then just open it up, baby, because it is coming, and it is coming soon. Because you know what? It's already here. You just got to allow it. Let's go within. Holy Spirit, we just give any of the BS to you. We place it on the holy altar. Any thoughts of, this is how it has to happen? Any thoughts of, it can't happen to me? Any thoughts of, that's nice, but in reality, we're placing that all on the altar so we can shift our perception. We can alter our perception. And we are standing in the truth. We are now consulting a higher authority. We are allowing that higher authority to take care of the details. We are no longer interested in the how. We are just interested in the yes. Yes, now. We are here to allow our natural abundance to come forth and pour out and express as our life. We are consulting that higher authority, and we no longer believe that our career means something about who we are. We are no longer interested in believing that the amount of money in our savings account dictates how secure we are going to be. Our security comes from the truth of who we are. We are cashing in our natural inheritance. We are allowing that to express freely. We say yes to ease. We say yes to grace. We say yes to divine harmony. These are all things that describe our life now. Because we are the light. We are children of God. And we are here to act like it. Oh, we are so grateful to remember who we are. We're so grateful to know that there is absolutely no limitation. That limitation is simply a game. And we're not interested in playing that game anymore. So we go forward with our hearts and minds open in perfect congruency. And we share this knowledge, we share this wisdom, we share this reminder with all forms of life that are suffering today. May we all be free. May we all embody true abundance. May all areas of our life flow with grace and ease and dignity. In grace and gratitude, we release this word and let it be, and so it is. Amen.